For our last episode in Penang, we're skipping the famous names and heading deeper into the local food scene to find the lesser known spots you'd probably miss unless you were here for a while. These are the small, authentic places locals come to that quietly define the island's food culture. But before the food, we want to show you Hin Bus Depot. No, we're not catching a bus, not yet anyway. But this used to be a working bus depot. Today, it's been transformed into one of Penang's most creative spaces, filled with galleries, indie shops, pop-up cafes, and one of the city's best weekend markets. The main market runs on Sundays only, and it's packed with local designers, street food, and live music. It's a refreshing break from the usual tourist trail. Somehow, it manages to feel lively and relaxing at the same time, which is very Malaysian. If this is your kind of place, you'll love it. We spent 2 weeks in Penang on this trip, and it still wasn't enough to eat everything we wanted. But here are a few hawker highlights. I loved this. And then sit in a shaded room just off the street. We waited for a table in one room, which was full, until someone waved us over to an adjacent space with free tables. Somehow, the hawkers we ordered from still managed to find us. We ordered char kway teow from the famous left-handed chef. I don't know what difference being left-handed makes, but it was excellent. I'm definitely going to lose this hat before long. And what's everyone queuing for? This is the famous Penang Road Teochew cendol, which isn't actually on Penang Road, but right here on Lebuh Keng Kwee. They don't make it easy, do they? Kheng Pin Café, we tried another Teochew classic, lol bak. Spiced marinated pork wrapped in bean curd skin and deep fried. It's served with a dark, sweet soy-based sauce and chili, and that contrast is the magic. Very Penang. I'd never had it before, and I was hooked. Another true taste of Penang is at 888 Hokkien Prawn Mee on Lebuh Presgrave. Just look at that line. Locals queue here every day for a reason. The prawn broth is rich and packed with that savoury umami taste. Add fresh prawns, tender pork, and springy noodles, and it's impossible to resist. Simple, hearty, and delicious. If you're exploring Penang food, this is a must. Do you love discovering local food gems like these? Hit subscribe so you don't miss out on our future destinations. Over in Butterworth, next to the bird park in fact, we found two temples sitting side by side, and together they tell a bigger story. On one side is Persatuan Buddhist Temple. Calm, orderly, almost meditative. Soft colours, gentle chanting, and a sense of stillness that invites you to slow down. Right next door is the Indian Arulmigu Karumariamman temple. Vibrant, colourful, and impossible to miss. Every surface feels alive with movement, stories, and deities. They couldn't be more different. Different colours, rituals, and worlds. Yet, they share the same space peacefully. In Malaysia, faith doesn't compete, it coexists. And standing here, it's hard not to feel that this quiet harmony is one of Penang's most beautiful sights. We could easily make an entire series about Penang street snacks, but here are just 3 of the standouts for us. On Chulia Street, some of the best food comes from the simplest setups. This dear old lady has been making Apom from her small cart for decades. A traditional South Indian inspired pancake made from fermented rice batter and coconut milk. She cooks it thin and crispy at the edges, soft and airy in the centre, with just a hint of sweetness. Fresh off the pan, eaten right here on the street, it's warm, comforting and nostalgic. Moments like this are why Penang food isn't just famous, it's personal. Just a few streets from the quiet rhythm of the Apom cart, Penang's Little India hits you with colour, sound and spice. These samosas here are legendary, and you can smell why before you even taste one. Made fresh, folded by hand, and fried right in front of you, and sold with quiet confidence. No rush, just a steady line, and a stall that's been doing one thing right for years. We buy a few, drop them into a paper bag, and keep walking, saving the first bite for later. Some things are worth waiting for. Saving the best for last, on a quiet street in Butterworth, an elderly woman keeps a disappearing tradition alive, cooking bubur gandum, or gandum pudding, in bubbling pots right on the sidewalk. Gandum pudding is a sweet porridge-like dessert made from wheat, mung beans, coconut milk and palm sugar. It's smooth, sweet and comforting. She sells it with no fuss, letting the pudding speak for itself. This was Celia's favourite as a child, but you rarely find it these days. I'll leave the location in the description, but I warn you she isn't always here, and I don't know when she normally comes. If you know, please tell us in the comments. Moments like this remind you that street food isn't just about flavour. It's memory, history and a piece of magic you can still find in Penang's neighbourhoods. After the Nyonya Cafe we showed you in our first Penang video, we were eager to eat more Nyonya food, and we were spoiled for choice. Emerald Nyonya is fairly new and highly rated, but it turned out to be more of a self-service cafe. We were looking for a restaurant. So we headed towards Jason Nyonya House, which also gets good reviews. But while waiting for it to open, another restaurant suddenly opened its doors and we were swept inside by the crowd. That's honestly how it happened. I hope we didn't jump the queue. This turned out to be Auntie Gaik Lien's old school eatery. It is an old school kitchen, but the flavours are anything but old fashioned. Layered, balanced and unmistakably Penang. The food was rich, comforting and savoury. Crisp herb salad, chicken rendang, Chinese okra with shrimp and even pad thai, that's stink beans. You eat slowly here because every bite deserves attention. Every flavour lingers. Maybe it wasn't chance that brought us here. Perhaps it was Penang's way of asking us not to leave just yet. There was one last surprise before we left Penang. I'm not sure this counts as a hidden gem. It's apparently very popular, but we'd never heard of it, and it's certainly hidden. We stumbled across it completely by chance and had no idea what it was. It took a while to find out. Art gallery, bookstore, bakery. We were the only ones there in the early evening. We were told it comes alive later, when the live music starts. This is ChinaHouse. If you know it, tell us in the comments what we missed by not staying longer. We did stay for a drink and a rest after a long day. It was a lovely place to relax away from the Penang bustle. And once again we found ourselves asking, did that really happen? Well, in Penang and in Malaysia, moments like this happen all the time, and they leave you with lasting memories. Thank you, Penang. We'll be back one day. But first, we're leaving Malaysia for another Southeast Asian country. Very different, but also wonderful in its own way. Subscribe and tune in next week to see where we go and what we get up to. Shoes? What do you think they are?
I have no idea.
I think they might be shoes or boots. I'm not very sure. They're lucky.
It's gold coin.
I can feel the
It's
luck.
not shoe.
Oh, is it? Gold coin.
Oh, stay home and open. You drop it.
That's all my good luck gone for the week.